Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to my channel. Today the car that I have for you is the first and only unit of the 2023 Land Rover Range Rover Sport. Before I start today's review, I want to let my uncle and the dealership a big thank you for providing this car to me. Thanks to Masood uncle and Azlan Motors for providing the only unit of the Range Rover Sport to me so I could do a full in-depth review of it. So let's start by speaking about what Land Rover is. Land Rover. Land Rover is a company that makes four-wheel drive SUVs, and they only make SUVs, and it is a British manufacturer. From 2008, Land Rover is owned by a multinational company named Jaguar, and now it is known as Jaguar Land Rover. From them, they are making SUVs, and they have kept their history in a good line, because whenever you talk about Land Rover, you have that British touch and off-roading into it. Because of their big SUV lineups, they have been very successful with their normal luxury SUVs, fuel-efficient SUVs, low-budget SUVs, and off-road SUVs. But now let's come to the actual models. Range Rover. Land Rover is the company name. Range Rover is the lineup. Range Rover is the biggest model that comes to all of the countries and it is produced. And after the Range Rover is the Range Rover Sport, that is this model. After the Sport, it is the Velar. After the Velar, it's the Evoque. But then we have another lineup from just Land Rover. There is the Discovery and the Defender. This is all the models for the Range Rovers. So the Range Rover Sport was first produced at 2005 with the first generation. After that came the second generation at 2013, and this is the latest model, the 2023, but this was started production at 2022. So it's the beautiful new generation, but now the company isn't owned by a British manufacturer. It is actually owned by Tata Group, but it is still run by a British company and a British man. Now let's start the full review. So let's start by showing you guys the key of the car. The key of the car is pretty similar to the previous generation. You have the Land Rover badge at the front. You have the unlock, lock. This is for turning on your lights. This is for unlock. This is for your emergency panic button. Now I'm going to get inside, turn on these full LED headlights and show you guys all of the performance it can give. Foot on the brake, pressing the start button, there it turns on with this nice animation. This is with the full light. This is with the car's hazard. This is with the high beam. This is without the high beam. Now I'm going to come outside for showing you guys the full headlights. So from the previous generation, the completely design has been changed. So that's why you have the hazards on the top. You have 4 projector setups, and this is your daytime running lights. Headlights has been more slimmer than the previous generation, but it has more tech than the previous generation. You have that headlight washer that actually washes the headlight if it gets dirty or if it's fogged up. Then you have the Range Rover written on top of the hood with your car's grille. And then if we go to the other side, you have the same on the headlights, and look at the attention to detail you have inside the light. And then if we come back, you have the Land Rover badge here, and then the overall grille is in black. The fonts are in black because this has the black option. Now let's come to the actual front. You can see if it's a Range Rover, that obviously has to be the seats high, the car's low, you're sitting on top of it like a king. It actually is. If we go down, you can see you have more black treatments until here. You have total 6 sensors at the front, with counting the both side ones. You have openings here and here for cooling the intercooler. This is closed, that's closed, but it is actually opened on the SV. You have your more aggressive parts like your black treatments here and here, and you can see the parking sensors here. But LED fog lamps is optional extra, but not for this light. This is the LED pixel light. This is the most expensive light you can get with this car. There's one more light that's more cheaper. You can get that with the LED fog lamps. Now let's look what is powering the all-new Range Rover Sport P400 SE Dynamic. For opening the hood, you have to do it from the driver's side. It's located at the driver's side. If you just pull this, the hood opens, and then you can access the car's engine. Before I show you guys the engine and tell you guys about it, I want to tell you about the specs of the Range Rover Sport. So let's just slide this here, and the hydraulic studs are going to get the hood up. First of all, let's come to the actual Range Rover Sport category. The Range Rover Sport is a mid-size SUV that Land Rover sells. It's competing with the Mercedes-Benz GLE and the BMW X5 and the Audi Q7 if it goes to German competitors. But now let's come to the models you can get with the Range Rover Sport. First is the S, then is the SE, then is the HSE, and then there is this, the HSE Dynamic. Then is the Autobiography, but if you want the Autobiography, it has to be plug-in hybrid. This isn't the plug-in hybrid model. This is a 3-liter inline-6 mild hybrid 0.23 kilowatt-hour battery. You have the Land Rover written Ingenium. You have 6 signs for your 6 cylinders. This is where you pour your car's engine oil. You have 2 intercoolers on either side, so it can put air to the turbochargers and the actual engine. The car's battery is at the back, but you have the car's positive at the front. This is where you pour your windshield wiper washer, and it's pretty much a very sleek looking engine bay. You have a 8-speed automatic transmission that is connected with this car's engine and is producing and putting power to the 4 of the wheels and 1 differential locker. Now let's come to everything about a Land Rover engine. If you buy this car now, if you bring a new one, you're going to get the BMW 3-liter and a BMW 4.4-liter option. But before that, Land Rover used to make their own engines like this inline-6 and a 5-liter supercharged V8. But if you get the plug-in hybrid model, you get the same BMW engine. But if you want the Land Rover engine, you have to get the P400 SE Dynamic. Very unfortunate, but Land Rover engines are Land Rover engines, come on. This car is producing 395 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. Pretty impressive in my opinion. Now let's close the hood because we're pretty much done. So just get it closer and then just press it from both sides. There the hood closes. You have rain sensing wipers and you have 2 cameras at the front for your lane keep assist and your automatic brake assist. Now I'm going to show you the car's side profile. So the new Range Rover Sport has been much more bigger than the previous generation Sport and the previous generation Range Rover Big One. It's the same size as the Range Rover standard wheelbase for the new car. It is much more longer, it is much more higher, it's much more widther as well. That's why it's just a bigger car. And it is more bigger than the GLE and the X5 and the Q7. It's the same size of a GL if you compare the car's actual size. Now let's go to the car's front wheels. So with this Giola green color, this is a very optional extra color and it's really expensive. You have these very nice black wheels that are satin and gloss. No one looks at these because these are little things, but if you look, you have gloss and matte combined. So it looks much more nicer. You have obviously Pirelli Scorpio Zero tires that are all season tires. It's best for performance, best for rainies, best for snow, best for summer. It's like all season tires. And the front wheels are 285/45 R22s with 6-piston Brembo brakes, and it is painted in black. And the front disc thickness is 14.9 inches with double wheels of suspension and air springs. If we get up from there, you have this side vent that actually improves the car's design for the side angle. You have one on the top to match that as well, and this line all the way extends till the front and it all the way goes till the back. The A-pillar and the roof is actually on another color, so it's a 2-tone color car, and the winker mirror is also in black. But when you open the car, it automatically unfolds. You have the hazard light here with a parking camera and blind spot monitoring, and a light actually projects to the ground at night, but because it's day you can't see it that much. And the door handles are flush when you lock the car and it gets inside. And this line all the way continues till the front, till all the way to the rear tail lights. And let's come to the rear wheels. Rear wheels are same as the front, but the brakes are much smaller. Rear brakes are 13.9 inches, so it's smaller than the front, and it has multi-link suspension with air springs with a limited slip diff. For opening the fuel tank, you have to obviously keep the car unlocked. So I have to unlock the car. And then if I press here, you can open the fuel tank, and the capacity is 85 liters. It is same as the Mercedes-Benz GLE. And now let's close that and let's show you the car's air suspension. Foot on the brake, pressing the start button, there the car turns on. I'm going to roll the window down. So first of all, I'm going to get the car to full high. So let's go to ride height, let's go to off-road and off-road 2, and the car is going to go to the most highest position the car can. So then you can take it through off-roading, take it to a muddy road, take it to water. You can go to everything with this car, and this is the most highest position. Now I'm going to get the car to the most lowest position, so when you park your car or if you're in a car event, if you're driving in Gulshan where the roads are pretty good, then you can use this mode. And it is pretty good looking when it's at low because everything's very nicely designed. And this is with the full suspension at low. And now let me turn on the full light. So that's with the full light. This is with the reverse. This is with the car's hazard. This is with the rear fog light. Now let's come outside for showing you guys the wheels. So here we go, and let's show you guys the tail lights. So tail lights are actually sidely designed. So you have your hazards on the top that are sequential. Then you have your OLED design LEDs that all the way start till here and it rounds till here. And then you have your Range Rover badge in full black, that's optional extra, with the sport badge in full black as well, and all the way continues till the other side. Then if you come here again, you have the rear spoiler with the upper stop brake light. This is where your rear windshield wiper is hidden under this, and you have two shark fin antennas for more aerodynamics. Now if you go down, you have the number plate slot of Aslan Motors. You have two number plate slot lights and a reversing camera that is a washer as well. You have the fog lights here, and you have the rear sensors that are also 6. You have this very nice diffuser and functional exhaust tips. That's what's cool about Range Rover. They're still making cars with functional things. Now let's look, is the Range Rover Sport practical or not? So for opening the boot, I have to do it from the button placed here. Then the power tailgate is going to open up. You can do it from the key as well, but you have 650 liters that is storageable here. But if you need more storage, you can actually fold down the seat 60-40 distribution from the button placements here. So if I just pull these and then push, there the 60-40 distribution seat fold down. And now you have the maximum storage you need. For getting them up as well, you can do it the same. There we go, you have the button placements here, and then this is the button for raising and lowering the car from the boot. So let's quickly do that. But before I do that, I want to show you one more feature. You can actually get this up for an additional seat. And now I can get inside and I can raise the car fully from the button here. So I can enjoy the view, I can do whatever I want in a higher spot. And then if I want to get high heavy luggages, I can get those up by getting the car fully lowered again. It's pretty nice that these cars have these cool options that make your life easier. It's expensive because there are things that make it expensive. There we come out, and then I can fold this down as well from the button placements here, and it is fully velveted and it has a power socket right there and a hook. So this is the hook, this is the power socket, and it's pretty much it. You have nettage area with this nice partial cover. And if you come here, you have the emergency triangle placement that's here, and then this is for closing the boot. And it's a power tailgate, so no hassle, it just does everything for you. Now let's get inside the Range Rover Sport. So now let's get inside the rear seats. So when you open the door, you can see the opening is pretty decent, but when you get inside, that's how easy it is because the car is now in full lowered. It's pretty dark. Let me open the panoramic sunroof cover. And the panoramic sunroof is fixed, so for opening the cover, just press that button and it automatically opens. But let's come to the seats. Seats are fully leathered with ISOFIX anchor points, and the rear seats are heated too. Headrests are really soft. You have a center armrest placement here with additional cup holders and the additional storage placement down here. And it's pretty decent how everything on this car is, because you can actually get the seat straight up and recline it as well for more relaxed position. You have two AC vent placements here, and this is for if you want the vent open or not, and you have heated seats like I mentioned. You have some magazine holders here and the fixed panoramic sunroof. You have your grab handle here with a light placement and a hook placement. Pretty cool. Now let's come to the door. So here we do that. You have leather on the top that all the way goes till the back. Then you have this vegan leather right here with the Meridian sound system. This is where your Twitter is. And then if we go until here, this is your grab handle. You have more trims until the back. This is for the controls for the seat. This is for the controls for the windows. And then if you come here, this is your door handle, unlock, lock. This is for your bottle holders and your main speaker. And the door fully covers so your trousers do not get dirty. Now let's get inside the front. So you have full leather on the dash until here, where you have your tweeter and your additional airbag with a defogger. Then you have your AC vent with this chrome treatment and 2 AC vents here, and the button for turning on your hazards. This for opening the glove box that's on the top. This for the glove box for the bottom, where you have the car's owner's manual. And then if I put this back, you have ambient lighting until the driver's side that is located here. And now let's come to the car seats. 20-way adjustable powered seats that are heated for the front, and it's very comfortable to sit in them, trust me. And you have this, so you have this very nice armrest, so you don't have to rely on this. And you have the panoramic sunroof like I mentioned. You can also close the blind from here. And then if I come to the storage areas, you have a big storage area here with a light placement inside. And then if I close this, you have a cup holder placement that is here. And then if you don't need the cup holders, you can get the cup holders back, and then you have a hidden storage area under that. Pretty cool. Then you have, this is for your hill descent control, this is for your driving modes, and this is velveted on the side, same as the volume button. This is your start button, gear knob. And now I'm going to show you the car's infotainment system and the car's climate control. So this is a 13.1-inch curved display for the infotainment system. Foot on the brake, pressing the start button, and there it turns on. It is very easy to use it because you have your navigation, media for your Bluetooth, you have audio for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and your vehicle settings. If we go on vehicle settings, you have your car's suspension modes. You can just put it on auto or access normal, off-road 1, off-road 2. Then if you go on drive, you can turn off the car's traction control or the stability control, auto start stop, and your auto brake hold. And then if we look at the widgets, you have the widgets here. As you can see, you have the compass too with the wheel information and the width sensing, and this is for the slope assist. This is for the energy impact and the driving style. And then if we go on this, you have navigation, account, seats, climate, cameras, valet mode, eco data, 4x information. You have low traction launch, you have vehicle instrument, voice, phone, and media and cabin lighting. If you go on climate, you can choose where you want the air for this vent. As you can see, you can keep those open or keep those closed, and the leg ones open as well. You can control that from here and control the vents as well. So which vent you want open, which one to close, and the back one too. It's pretty cool how everything is and how everything looks as it says. Go on apps, you have the car's camera. You can actually look at the 2D cameras for the front and the back, and you can see the car's 360-degree camera here. And the image is actually so crisp with the actual details of the car and everything. It's actually showing the SV model, not the normal model. And there you can see the hazards do come up. And this is for the off-road cameras. And then if we go out from there and go back to home, you have valet mode, eco data. If you go on eco data, it's just going to show you how you can save your fuel. But the people who buy this car don't want to save it, so why even give this option? And that's everything for here. If you go on cabin lighting, you can actually choose the brightness for the lights that come inside the car, and the audio for the sound system for bass and everything for the Meridian sound system. Now if we go back to home, this is pretty much it for the infotainment, and it is pretty good at its job. Then if you get down, you have your climate control. So when you pull it, it shows you the wind speed. Then you can choose how much wind speed you want. Then when you push it, you can choose the climate control for both of the sides. So both of the sides have separate wind speeds. So I keep it on 3 and just put it on sync. And then you have shortcut button placements here. And then this is your gear knob like I mentioned. If we go up, this is your rear view mirror. You have light placements here. And this is for your blind openers. You have your vanity mirrors for either side with a bright light. It's pretty nice how everything is correctly done on a Range Rover for the first time. Before I go to the car steering wheel, if I just press this button and then I go to a menu, if I go to more, if the rear passenger wants to relax on the left side, I could press chauffeur for the passenger side. So if I just press this, the front seat is going to come to the most front and the most uncomfortable position you can get for the front seats, but it's the most amount of leg room you can get for the rear seats. And now the rear passenger can relax and enjoy it like a big Range Rover, but you can still drive and have the fun on the driving seat. If I want to get the seat back from there, I can also do that, but it's loading, so let's just let that happen, and just let's put it on memory 1, and it's going to go back to its normal position. And there you go, that goes to its normal position. But one more thing I want to show you of the 4x for informations and other stuff. I wanted to show you on the drive, but let's just show it to you right here. So if you go on 4x for information, then it's going to show you a lot of information when you're off-roading. So if you just press OK, you can look at which suspension has the most amount of air, which wheel is getting the most amount of power, the car is sloping, and the car is all of your information when you go off-roading, and you can lock your differential from here. Then if you have your wading depth of 2.6 feet, it can go under the water, and then you have TR information. It's pretty nice, it's pretty cool, but it's not a off-roading car, it's a car that you want to drive every day. Now let's come to the steering wheel. Steering wheel is fully leather strapped, but it is powered adjustable and tilt and telescopic. Now let me show you the car's instrument cluster. When you turn on the car, so foot on the brake, pressing the start button, then it slowly turns on. Instrument cluster is same as the big Range Rover. It is fully digital. This is your RPM. It redlines on 6,000. You have your engine temperature here, the car's mileage. The car mileage, it can go with the fuel it has and the fuel gauge. Then you have the speedo, that's placement here, 170 miles. Then you have the center display that you can control from the button placements here. Press this, it changes, it's a digital screen. You can go to information panel, and then you can choose whatever you want, like your trip information, 4x4 information, driving assistance, and empty panel. I'm going to put it on the 4x4s. And then if you go on display layout, you could choose if you want the dials, if you want the full focused, or you want the map. That doesn't work in Bangladesh, very unfortunate. If you go to display layout again, I'm going to put it on dials because that's the most nicest position you can get it on this car. It doesn't have a heads-up display, but you can get that as the optional extra like I mentioned. You have your trip settings and your vehicle settings. That is not controllable for the headlights and stuff, but it is what it is on this car. You have the car's windshield wiper controls here, and you have the car's headlight controls here. And this is with the high beam, this is with the hazard. It's pretty nice, and you have aluminum paddle shifters. This is what a premium brand should have. And then when you turn the car off slowly, it goes away, and then if I exit the car, it's going to do a nice animation and turn it off. Then you have a defogger window here with your Twitter at the front. Then you have your main AC vent, and then you have this leather panel, and then you have your ambient lighting. This is for opening the car's boot. You have your dash pedal, brake pedal, and your gas pedal, and this is for opening the car's hood. You have this aluminum scratch plate here, and no buttons here. Everything's actually on the door. But before we go on the door, you actually have a subwoofer placement on the center and two AC vents here. And now if we go to the door now, you have your Meridian Twitcher leather and vegan leather until the back, and then the dark chrome treatment starts and all the way comes till here with your grab handle. You have your seat controls here with 3 memory seats. You have your window controls here and the exterior mirror controls here. You can actually fold it from here and unfold it, but it's not going to work now because the blind spot monitoring is on. You can see that light placement there. Then you have your car's window. So for rolling down the window, you have double glazed window for the front. So it's laminated glass, no outside noise comes inside. Then you have the door handle, your lock, unlock, and this is for your bottle holders, but you still have the chrome treatments. This is for your speaker. Now let's turn the car off and let's exit the car. So if you like this review, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and do follow me on my social media platforms. That's going to be in the description. Now let's come to the car's prices, because you want to know the price, and let me give you a booming offer for this car. If you import a brand new Range Rover Sport right now, it's going to cost you 5 crores plus. Why? Pound rate is high, options are more expensive than it was when this car was imported, and the tax is high. So it's going to give you a big blast if you want to import this car again. But this car price was 4 crore 20 lakhs. As it's Aslan Motors 1-year anniversary of their showroom in Dhaka, they're giving a big discount. they're wanting to give this car for this month, October, that they will sell this car to you for 4 crore 5 lakhs. If you want it, come to Aslan Motors. I'm going to put their Facebook page at the description and a phone number located there. Until then, I'll see you next time. Now let's go to the car's driving part. Foot on the brake, pressing the start button, then the car turns on with the lights on as well. Whenever you drive, make sure you wear your seat belt and drive if you have a driving license. A lot of people asked that question before, but no one asks now because everyone knows I have a driving license. Let's start off the car with the driving on eco mode. What is eco mode? Eco mode is the mode that gives you while you're driving, so it consumes the most less amount of fuel on your car. But in Bangladesh, whenever we drive, eco mode is when the fuel is low or the fuel pump is very far away or there's really traffic. That's the only time we use eco mode. But after eco mode comes comfort. So if you go on comfort, that's the mode that everyone uses on their Range Rovers and Mercedes and BMWs. That's the most comfortable position or the comfortable settings for your suspension when you're driving. So some big speed bumps are coming in front now, and if I go on those speed bumps after that bike moves away, you can see how the suspension is damped on the most comfortable position for going. And now if I put it on dynamic mode and then go on this speed bump, you can see how stiff it is. So you can now feel the speed bump that you're going through. But what's about a Range Rover is whenever you sit on top, you feel like you're a king because you're sit very high and you're driving a Range Rover. And the turning radius of this car is very good. We're going to talk about that when we take the turn and a big U-turn at the front. Bro, people literally stand in the middle of the road. Like, impressive. And for the car's performance, if we look at that, there's someone literally blocking my way. So I'm just going to test the car suspension on dynamic mode. But if you take the turn from the center lane, let's see how much room it takes, because the turning radius of this car is 42 feet. Look at that guy. Literally came out of nowhere in a, like, no rules, no nothing. Bro, come on, Bangladesh. And the car's engine sound is actually really impressive. I'm not going to end the video yet because I forgot to show you one more feature. So if you go on the car's cameras, you can actually go to the off-road camera, then you can actually see the wheels and the front camera when you're driving. But we're on dynamic mode, but we're on off-road cameras. But I'm just going to show that so you guys can look at the car's display for the camera. The suspension is on sports. We're going to take this turn from the center lane, and these speed bumps are not a problem, but the problem is that other speed bump. And then if I go on the speed bump, it's just a hassle because how big it is, and there's no line. How are we going to supposed to be understandable that there's a speed bump there, at least at night? Like, no common sense. When you drive the big Range Rover, you feel like the king. But when you drive this, you feel like the prince because this is the much smaller one. And if you take the U-turn from the center lane, it's actually pretty cool and decent. And then if you look at the car's performance now, just look at how it performs. It's like on point when it comes to actual performance. We're going to take the turn again. We're going to let this very hard-working man go first because I actually really feel bad for them, so that's why I let them go whenever I drive. But don't drive fast and follow the rules if you're a Bangladeshi or not Bangladeshi, because rules are supposed to be followed and it's made to be followed.